Hey everyone, welcome to Dark Helmet Racing League Season 10, Round 5. We're at Fuji. Lots of really good racing, a lot of really tight battles through the night, and not too many major incidents from what I've been seeing already, so let's get into it. And I'm getting slight notifications on OBS that it might be acting up again. Not sure why it's doing this. Alright, so let's get into this first one here. Yeah, so I'm not going to really fault Phil here in the middle on the Mustang for going to the right a little bit, considering a Porsche just dives in for the inside, and he has to make room for it. So this Porsche here pushed him wide. Right, he didn't touch him, but he made room for him, which got him into the 11 here. But they ended up getting it kind of bounced back straight. So racing incident on this one. So that's net code. So this one you can see there's a gap between the two cars here. Brandon goes to brake. They don't even come close to touching, but iRacing decided that he had smashed into the back of Ryan here. But as you can see there was actually daylight between the two by quite a bit. So this is netcode being netcode. So no action there for both. All right, so Phil missed his braking by a lot. Got into the ABS and couldn't get it stopped. And if it wasn't for Nathan here, I don't think he would have been on the track. And he has contact with two cars here. There is damage to the back of Nathan, which could be altering. But it's hard to say. So on this, I'm going to do a 1 point for missing the braking zone. And so it's just avoidable contact, 1 point. No positions are lost, minor damage. Okay. And then noted for Nathan. It also put them both to their warnings for 4x limits, so that's another reason to make sure that it has an incident point or penalty point. Action there. Action there. Action there. All right, so that's our sprint. Let's get into our feature here. This is with me, so technically I could bring in Brandon right now, but netcode looks like it played a factor in this as well, but I moved to the left here. I thought Ricky was a little farther over here than he was. You can see I'm just kind of slowly drifting to the left here, and Ricky's saying, no way in hell you're getting over to the left, but it just completely joins our cars for a second there. We got a 4X both out of it. There's no damage, no loss of position. This is a race, or this is not really a racing incident either. This is just no action here. But it did give us both a 4X. If you feel like you need it protesting, please protest it, but right now it's going to stay as no action. I think this is after Ryan recovered from his turtle strike. Nope. Okay, so this is a lap after. Ryan was super fast tonight. Doing awesome. So here, he's trying to shoot down the gap to try to use the least amount of road, which does put you in a position. But he wasn't going to make this corner. You could see there's quite a lot of understeer that starts happening just as he gets into the corner here. Yeah, Mooney 16 points. He's not going to make this corner. He's pushing wide, and it takes Troy completely by surprise. And then ends up getting a double tap on Troy and spinning Troy here. So Troy ends up just kind of gathering it up right behind him. So our rule is you need to be able to get to apex under control and make it. So now we're at avoidable contact. But what is it? Is it a level 1 or a level 2? So Troy lost 1, 2, 3 positions, possibly more. 4, because there goes Mooney. So yeah, this will be. I feel like 2.5 is a little bit extreme because of the amount of overlap here, right? It's just because of the type of corner, but like technically his nose is now ahead and they're not even at apex yet. So I'm gonna leave this as a 1 point because he's not making the apex. It's the second contact that ends up spinning Troy, not the first contact. And the second contact is a result of just everything bouncing around here. Like if you roll back a little bit farther. So this is going to be a 1 point, I think. Just he was technically ahead before apex, but he wasn't making the apex. The second contact is what spun him, which was a result of the first contact, but the first contact is a 1 point incident. And I think the spin isn't enough for me to give it a 2.5. Again, if you feel like it needs to be protested, there's a protest that worked last week. If you do feel like it needs to be protested and you think there's more details that need to be looked at, please do, and we will look at it further. Noted for Troy. So this, I think it's Brandon Potts that makes contact here. And technically, so he's trying to make room for a car on the inside as well, but he's just really far off apex and gets into the car here. Now this one, the contact again is very minor, no damage, but huge loss of position and huge loss of like track position. So because of that, like he's lost upwards of 10 seconds here. This is going to be a 2.5 to Brandon. That's the difference. Minor loss of position over a lot of loss of track position and positions, as well as overall race time in this case. Again, if you feel like it needs to be reviewed further, we can. That's what the protest system is for, but this is part of the doing the live reviews. I'm making a call here, and if I have to look at it again, I will. Noted. And Alex did a good job on the rejoin there, waited till everyone had gone by before he could safely rejoin. Action there. Action there. Pick this up halfway through the spin. So it actually picked up that second spin as the 2x. The first one wasn't actually a 2x. Action there. It's a huge wheelie from Nathan over the giant sausage curves, and that's what leads to Brandon getting into the back of him while he was airborne. I can't fault him there. Nathan ends up spinning into the wall. No action. as a result of a crash that's already happening. And then Nathan ends up getting stuck up against the barriers here. Right there. Gets going. And that's it. So only 3 incidents tonight that were worth anything. Next week, let's find calendar here. Next week we are at the Indy Road Course, so it will also be raining. So it should be wet all the way up until the halfway point of the feature, I think is what the schedule of the rain is, if you look at the forecast. Will it dry in time? Don't know. But it should be a really fun race because of that. So Tire Strategy will play a game in that one. On Tuesday, for the M2s, we are at Lime Rock on the classic configuration. Huge, fast, short lap time, so that should be some really intense battling with a lot of laps completed in our 15-minute sprint in feature. So if you feel like joining us, car is free, track is free, come on out. The championship is pretty tight right now, and I think we've had 5 different winners in 5 different races. So let's keep that going. See if anybody wants to come on out. If not, I'll see you guys here next Sunday for the Indy review.